All right. I'd like to call the meeting to order for Monday, June 16, 2025 at 6:03 PM. If everyone could please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I guess we can do roll call. Beth, were you going to do that? Right.
I sure can. Reardon.
Here.
Layton.
Here.
Hetmer. Here. Walsh.
Here.
Studzinski.
Here.
And LaRose is excused.
Yep.
And Andres.
Yes, present.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on to the agenda. If everyone could please review it for any conflict of interest, and if there's none, move to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Oh, wait. Yeah, sorry. We'd like to add business before the Parks Commission 9B. We probably should talk about if we want to do a summertime game night. Like we did last year, so, at Grace. So, yeah, yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve the agenda with the addition of 9B, summer game night.
Second.
All right, motion made by Walsh, supported by Reardon to move forward with the agenda with the addition of 9B, the summertime game night. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Move on to public comment. Doesn't look like there's any public here tonight. So can move on to correspondences. Let me look. I think Beth just sent out an email for a refresher on FOIA and OMA. I think that was the only thing, so I don't know if anyone else seen anything else. All right. Moving on to reports, 7A, the treasurer's report, Garrison.
Yeah, I was just discussing, kind of tailing off from our park store. We revisited the dog park at Grace McDonald, and we do have $12,000 budgeted in the engineering fees, only $510 spent. So we have plenty of money to move forward with that. Not sure what the next steps would be. Is that, Beth, is that an email you make to Wade Trim, or is that something we should do?
Yes, if you would like to proceed with us doing some initial design concept plans for the dog park, we can have the landscape architects of the engineering firm we normally work with handle those and get something to you.
Yeah, that would be great. Other than that, that's my only real comment. We've got only 18,000 spent, 83,000 of the budget, so we're doing fine budget-wise.
Perfect, thank you.
Quick question. Did we need to make a motion to move forward with engineering?
I feel like we already voted on it like last year and then reaffirmed this year, but I just don't think it ever happened.
Just a matter of getting it done.
And then we got the grant from the tribe. That was for,
The
The warming hut,
oh, that was for the, okay,
but still.
Yeah.
We
how much
budgeted-
We would have had to spend there,
We
yeah,
budgeted for it last year, right?
yes.
yeah, so. I think we just need to move forward with getting some plans.
Approved it enough to put it in the budget, so.
Yeah,
Should be.
okay. If there's no more questions over the treasurer's report, we can move on to 7B, the staff report. Beth, do you have something?
Just basically a review. It was nice that the Parks Commission was able to get together on June 11th and visit the different parks. we are ordering that swing for Jen's Park where the poison ivy was removed. So that'll be a nice addition. Also, the new little library, as you saw, was installed. With respect to the Adirondack chairs, when you were out there and what you saw, there's the blue Adirondack chair that was on the beach and then the bench that was near the bathroom. Those will be together over on the beach. But the second chair was actually kind of destroyed from being out there. And if you remember, those are a couple years old, and they were from Costco, so they weren't really, what I would say, like, public park grade.
Commercial?
Yeah, exactly. So the wear and tear just kind of did it away. Dan mentioned that he tried fixing that blue chair, but it busted, then when he went back, and then it was leaving like screws or nails where we didn't want anybody to have any issues with it. So he got rid of that.
Also, we've got a great return policy.
That is true. I have heard that.
Yeah, included by-
So then with, and also if you remember a few years back, we did specifically buy 2 chairs and a table, a brown Adirondack that was a little heavier duty. And he had those that were put away during the construction last year. So he's going to get those back out. Those he's going to anchor because we don't want to have those go walking off. So will do that. At Pine Grove Park, the bathroom was switched today for ADA. So
nice.
he called, I think, on Friday, and they were able to get that done today.
Were they able to move it inside the fencing?
I understand Dan went and measured to make sure that they could get it inside the fencing, so that's where they were instructed to. I got an email receipt from the company that it was delivered, but I haven't laid eyes on it today, so. He appreciated that you liked his ramp that he built at Pine Grove. Holiday Woodlands Natural Area, and we don't have an update on that. That planning process is taking a little bit longer through Beck and Rader, but they did say that they would have an update for you at a subsequent meeting. So, Arbutus, the power washing, it was funny because just there was discussion at the Parks meeting about the power washing. And I just had feedback from Dan, from the vendor who does that the other day he was out there 3 times and couldn't do the power washing the 3 times he went because there was already somebody on the fishing pier. So that's why sometimes he has to go over earlier, or he might be a little bit on the later side, just to try to get some time when there's no one on that fishing pier. So kind of leads to that park being well utilized. And I think I mentioned to you, every vendor that's over there, and Dan said, people just love that park. Like, they come up and will comment about it to you, that they're really enjoying it. I think the fishing pier is really improved from where it was, so now it's away from the swimmers and the people enjoying the park. So I think that was a good move that you guys made. We do have the company that handles our fencing. You noticed that the fencing was complete at Jen's Park, and they'll be going out and checking out the fencing out at Arbutus.
Was Dan going to get a garbage at the fishing pier if he can, if we had an extra one?
We will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I picked up a ton of trash,
We will, yeah.
all fishing garbage.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some online last weekend, or last Friday, I think it was. So we'll get one out there. Let's see. Grace McDonald Park. Dan had mentioned that, first of all, that park, the pavilion at Grace McDonald, is booked almost, I think it's completely booked for the summer. And we've had multiple bookings over the past few weekends where there's, 3 and 4 different parties who are using it for half days or whatever. He is having a little bit of issue. As you can imagine, it's a public park, so some people come and they leave it just like they found it, and others maybe not so much. So a couple of the things that he's having issues with are, like, they're leaving the trash incredibly full, or they're using confetti, which in a natural, and there it's not a biodegradable confetti, which then he's out there like trying to vacuum and pick it up, which is hard. So I'm going to have Sam take a look at our reservation process through that and see, what information we're giving them when they rent the facility. And then, obviously, it's already rented out for this summer, so we can't do it this summer, but this summer, we'll follow up with those people and then get them that information, see how that helps. May end up recommending to you next year that we maybe take a deposit that's returnable upon that there's no issues out there. So we'll see, we haven't fleshed that one out quite yet, but we definitely want to get some more information to them to make sure that they know. And one of the things we'll probably be doing is providing them with trash bags too, because if they are conscientious enough to not leave a bunch of trash, that means they're either pulling that bag out and then leaving it empty, or, a host of other things. So we'll be giving them some extra trash bags when they rent the facility, when they get the paperwork.
Does that park have like a trash dumpster too?
Yes.
Okay. We could even just put a sign up with a map showing where the dumpster is, and
Bag all
that
trash
might be
in place
enough.
of dumpsters.
Okay, but there's a distance from that gazebo to the trash. I
On the
think,
way out.
I think that's a big ask.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people, are pretty mindful, because a lot of it's going to be like pizza boxes,
Yeah.
stuff like that, stuff that will fill up the trash can, like, 2 people, could fill it up with a couple pizza
Doesn't mean
boxes.
everyone has to do it, but at least we could ask.
But, if they saw a sign, they might think twice about, doing that, just drop the pizza box off in the garbage, I know.
In the parties that they're having that substantial trash with, there's some significant setup usually with the party. So they're having, 1 or 2 people out there setting up. So, I mean, I think with the scale, if you're filling the trash that much, they probably are likelihood already planning on somebody, setting up and then at least partially breaking down. Maybe they're just not thinking of pulling that trash to put it over there, because they might not even realize it's a dumpster when they come in, because they're looking at the other end of the park.
Is
so-
it locked?
No. But it is cambered, so anyone who hears it's not locked and thinks that they can put anything in it, it is cambered.
Yeah. I mean, even something as simple as just like, hey, the dumpster is near the entranceway. Please,
Yeah.
drop off your trash on your way out or something.
Yeah.
It could just be like a reservation checklist or
Yeah.
something that just, little signage there, friendly signage that they can reference when they're there, we could even have stuff like who to call, like if they needed something, or emergency, just basic stuff.
Sure, sure. So Dan was going to pop in and talk with Sam when he gets back, and they'll look at putting something together and getting that to people who have reserved.
Could we
Nothing-
maybe put like a little broom and dustpan too, to maybe help with the excess confetti or little things to just sweep up real quick?
Yeah, the confetti, we're going to ask,
Well,
we're
yeah,
going to tell
just-
them like none, but you're right. The problem, we have had them in the past, and I do mean past, it was like when Bob was here. They don't stay there.
No,
They
they
tend
disappear.
to walk away. So that becomes a tough one, yeah.
Sure.
And I think, for the most part, if they don't use confetti, if they do take their bulk load of trash, we're pretty good with the rest. So we'll see how it goes and just kind of keep you apprised of that. Killingsworth, not too much new there, although there were new tables put there as well. And that is rented a couple times, not anything like Grace though, but I do want to mention also as well, the geocaching keeps, now that it's warmer out, a nice steady stream of people who are logging that cache in, because we get alerts on that, and some very nice comments in it, like, that they're great caches, or that they enjoy the park and the trail is nice at Grace McDonald. A lot of positive comments there. did notice that one of our trackers was downstate somewhere, which was kind of cool. And we did have a response that was written completely in German, I think it was. So someone was here from Germany hitting some of those caches. So, and then with respect to the farmers market, Seeds has started staffing that, as you know. This past week, that was their first week here themselves, and everything seemed to go pretty seamless. I believe I didn't hear anything differently, so I think that that was good. And I think that is all that I have for you right now.
Did we need to vote on the dog park plan?
Well,
Go ahead.
you do have 12,000 in your attorney, engineer, and grant fees. So I do think you have enough to get started, and I can talk with Wade Trim on how much that will be, and if we need to take a look at adjusting that or whatever, we can. But I think if consensus is, and what I heard was to have some initial drawings done, I think we can start there.
Yeah, I think a few
We
meetings, I
intentionally budgeted it for
Yeah.
the dog park,
remember a few meetings ago,
approved the budget.
we talked about like 10,000 bucks.
Yeah. With the hopes of keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Haha, emphasize
Simple and getting it done.
Yeah.
Circling back to the geocaches, I don't know if there's anything we could do. I think we asked Sam to look into it to make the geocaches show up on the free version.
On Freebird,
On the
No.
free, like, so the one at Grace
Free.
McDonald's, for example, is like gray. You can't click on it unless you have the premium geocaching.
oh, okay.
Even though it's like a 1.5, so it should fall within the score range where it can do that. Arbutus 5 is green, you can tap on it and then the wayfinding works. But like when I did Grace McDonald, I just had to like look at my phone and walk closer to it, but you can't activate like the navigation and get the tips on it.
Something to do with like the difficulty level.
But it rated as a 1.5, which I thought was the threshold, so I don't know why, but maybe just because it's a little bit of uneven terrain.
I don't know.
Makes it a hard one.
I don't know the answer to that and hadn't heard that, so we can take a look at that and I'll remind him.
Gens are the only free ones.
Which two are on the free?
Arbutus and Gens.
Arbutus
Both
and
show up as
Gens.
green and are clickable.
So Killingsworth is not?
But that makes sense, that's a little bit of a hike, right? Actually, having fun.
Well, it's not that bad, but it's a little off the
I
trail.
just assume that trail in general is, not a super easy trail.
Yeah, that was a geocache subcommittee topic, which if we're done with staff, we can call that was our geocache subcommittee
Nice segue.
comments. There's nothing else from the geocaching subcommittee because we haven't met since our last meeting. But I think we're working on some future plans and just kind of seeing what we can do to incorporate geocaching into our parks, so. And, yeah.
I'll take a look at that. Sorry, I thought Freebird was some new app or
No,
something
no.
for geocaches. I don't know.
Free version.
Yeah.
Are they also good on swag? I know we have our volunteer guy that kind of keeps up on them.
Yeah, I think we're pretty well set on that, so. Yeah, if Garrison and Ryan don't have anything on that, we can move on to the Food Security Advisory Committee meeting, 7D.
July 23rd.
Is that, okay,
That's the next one.
okay. All right, there's nothing more to that. We can move on to the approval of the minutes from May 19th, 2025.
I will move to approve minutes for May 19th, 2025.
Support that. All right, motion made by Reardon, supported by Andrus to move forward and approve the minutes from May 19th, 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passed. All right, moving on to business before the Parks Commission, 9A, the Grace McDonald Park Pavilion and Cornhole Improvement Plans. In the packet, you'll see some conceptual drawings that were put together by Wade Trim, I believe, yeah. And then there's a possible motion to move forward and approve the plans. So I guess we can look at that, discuss it, and if we have any changes or ideas, we can move to approve that.
We did
So-
end up getting the big grant, so I think are we not scaling it back? We're not doing these 8 additional ones on the lower side of the drawing?
So we brought this back to you because recall we are tying a bit of the 2 projects together into one project for the efficiency of particularly the concrete. And so we thought, well, as we're doing that, we'll put them all on the site plan and have your approval of that. As we were talking about that, the landscape architects are aware that we're not doing that second portion of the cornhole, but they felt like a good thing to do would be to have the plan before everything except those 4 game boards to the west, and then have that as an option, so that when you get your bids back, they'll be for the main project, plus an amount for the option of adding those, so that way you can make the decision based on good
Numbers.
rather than just their estimates.
Okay.
And you'll see that, I think at one time you had some concrete on that eastern side, or I'm looking at it, I don't know what orientation you guys have it, I have it kind of like this. If you're looking at the top of the 2 cornhole sets, we had concrete going across the top, but they've removed that because they wanted to take out less trees right there and utilize the retaining wall. So the handicap access then would be down the sidewalk, behind the 2 cornhole sets, and then across the 2 across in between, and can get over to that pavilion area. The other thing I wanted to mention is next to the pavilion on the west side, which will be on the bottom of the pavilion as you're looking at it on the paper, they've added the concrete in that area, and the ledge stone, I'm trying to read what it says there, but it's awfully small. The ledge that you'll see, which is that kind of arc in white, that is going to be made out of the same material as complementary of the rock wall that is around the south side of the eastern 2 cornholes. You recall there's just a little bit of a retaining wall there, and they have it up to where you can sit on those. And the seating around the fire pit will be seating as well.
Yeah, on the lower left, they have a little more detailed drawing of the stone wall.
My only comment would be this approximate irrigation line, the dotted one on the upper right-hand corner. We did kind of talk about also including sidewalk leading from right there down towards the baseball field, dog park area. I just would be mindful of where we put a line in case we have to then dig it up and do concrete there.
I'll
So-
move. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it is the same landscape architects who will be working on this, so I'll mention that to them and they'll coordinate that.
I'll move to approve the Grace McDonald Park Cornhole and Pavilion Plan as planned, presented, and discussed.
I will second.
All right. Motion made by Walsh, supported by Reardon, to move forward with the Grace McDonald Park Cornhole and Pavilion Plan as described, presented, and discussed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passed.
On that west side where we're not putting cornholes, are we preparing it? Could people bring their own sets?
It'll be a grassy area,
Irrigated too, right?
yes.
All right. Moving on to the addition of 9B, the game night. We did do kind of a yard game night at Grace last year. I think we had the ice cream truck too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yes, we did.
Now I remember.
That was a great addition.
Yes.
That was a great.
That's fantastic.
So we can use this time to discuss if we want to do something like that again this year. So,
The only thing that I will mention to you is, I can't recall last year, I think we did have it in the newsletter, and we have missed the deadline for the newsletter. So that might affect your attendance too, although it's possible we could have some signs made up that say, game night this, like Wednesday or this Thursday, and just have them up just the week ahead of time. If you always want to do a Wednesday or Thursday in the future, you can reuse those.
When does the next newsletter go out?
Well, there's 2 a year. They go out with your taxes, yeah.
Well, it can be on the website. We can promote it at the
How was the turnout?
farmer's market.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I can't say people came for the event. I
Right,
think
like they
people
were
were
just there.
already there.
Yeah.
And then,
People did come from my neighborhood to the event because they saw it,
okay.
yeah.
They saw it, that's on the newsletter?
yes. And they knew I was on the Parks Commission, so that's why.
I think it was a mix, but I think most people were surprised that there's something going on. And then with the ice cream truck, it kind of drew attention to what we were doing, so,
It would be cool to set up like some portable cornhole and have our plans up so people can see what's coming.
yeah. We did have a good pickleball
Oh,
kind of
that's right.
turnout,
Yeah.
because I know some of,
Pickleball demonstration.
yeah. So we had some people from the pickleball world kind of doing instructions, so,
What date? I missed it. What date did we do it last year?
We did it on a Thursday, the beginning of August.
yeah. I remember,
Maybe
I
like-
think
maybe like
Ally brought the beverages that you picked up, but you couldn't come for some reason.
As do I. Well, I loved that event. It was really fun learning to play pickleball and talking with various members of our community. I think it would be great to do it again. It would be very cool if we could bounce around and host it at different parks. However, for attendance purposes, just given that so many folks just stumbled into it, I think it makes sense to keep it at Jen's.
Grace.
Great.
Grace, sorry, I've got summertime, I've got the beach on my mind. Grace. And if we could invite the ice cream truck or another ice cream truck back, that would also be great.
Ice cream truck budget. We should make that a line item.
We should.
Very important.
Yep.
Just out
How
of
much do they cost
curiosity,
for them to
like,
come out, or do they just come out?
I know we do
I-
the newsletters twice a year.
I think she was like,
But, I mean-
did all ice cream sales from now
I mean,
up
how
until
much does it
X
cost
amount of
us?
dollars.
Oh, I guess that's gonna be way off the mark.
It's
I know
very
postcards-
That's-
expensive,
Oh, good.
It's
Because
a lot
postcards
of
have
money.
different
several
postage.
thousand.
Send that all out.
Well, I like the idea of putting a note or something at the farmer's market, then, a lot of people that come to the farmer's market are from this side of town anyway, so that's a good idea. Having, little blurb on the website. I know
We
you
could
do,
use our
you do
kiosk.
next door reminders, so,
Our kiosk there at the park, our empty space,
oh, yep, yeah.
put a
Can we
flyer
make
in
a
there.
Facebook event? I know I've brought this up before, but as someone who now constantly tries to find things to do with a kid, like I'll just scroll like events local today, and I just scroll and find
Oh,
something.
the ticker, I found some good,
We
I
just
don't
do a
even think
press
it was a
release
ticker, I think it was
instead.
just things to do it was for spring break. I don't remember.
Sometimes, I think it is a ticker or someone will they will do an independent search and find things, which is great.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I
we
think
all say yes, are we trying to set the date tonight, or we
we
just?
probably should.
Yeah.
We probably should. I was trying to find what date we did it last year by.
I want to say like 10th or 15th or something like that.
Oh, it's definitely in my calendar, let's see.
Everybody goes back to school.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure and do it,
Yeah.
in advance of, the middle of August starts getting crazy with, kiddos going back to school.
Grace McDonald Summer Party, Thursday, August 8th, 2024.
Exactly when it was.
Oh, I think it was a baby shower, that's what it was.
You, yes, yep.
So do you want to do August 7th then? Thursday, August 7th?
I'm good with it.
I think I could do that.
I can.
Is there anything else big going on in town on August 7th we should be mindful
Or like a
of?
baseball tournament at Grace McDonald. I guess it's a Thursday.
I don't think,
Baseball's done by
Little
then.
League's done by
Yeah.
then. I'm good with that date. I don't know what my condition will be physically with my surgery.
Lefty.
Yeah.
What time frame do we usually do it? Like 5 to 7 or something?
Yeah, it was a couple hours, I think 2-hour event.
Well, you do have the farmer's market on
Oh.
Thursdays.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have to realize that.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, but
competing with
what's-
ourselves.
Yeah, but that ends at 6.
People
I think we did 6 to 8 last time.
People came from the farmer's market. I remember talking to somebody, and they're like, yeah, we were just at the farmer's market.
Ally, you have your calendar up? I think we did 6 to 8 last
Mine
year.
says 5 to 7.
Oh, 5 to 7?
Fine.
I thought it was 6 to 8.
And I know it went.
I do remember that being a discussion last year, oh, are we competing against ourselves with the farmer's market? But I think last year we said farmer's market starts at,
Oh, it started earlier
We
last year.
moved it up earlier this year by an hour.
It used to be
So
3 to 7. now it's
3,
2 to 6.
yeah.
So you could do 6 to 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it stays light pretty dark.
Oh, yeah,
Is
I
that
mean, it
like,
stays light pretty late.
yes.
is that dinner, what? I eat dinner at a very late hour. Is that when normal folks are trying to sit down and have a nice dinner?
I do know people came from the farmer's market to the
We
party.
eat whenever we can find time. The kids are running us in circles.
I mean, I don't think the time's a huge deal. It's
I don't
just,
either.
People that are wanting to go will go. If they can't, they won't, I guess.
Well, I think that's a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Would you like to do 5 to 7 or 6 to 8?
I think my preference would be 5 to 7, and by the time we clean up and stuff, it'll be closer to 8.
Yeah, it's not like we have to kick people out of the park.
Yeah, so if people are there enjoying it, we can always. But I feel like last year it kind of petered out.
5 to 7 sounds fine.
All right. Thursday, August 7th, 5 to 7 p.m. will be the game night. And I think we still have our games, and then I think Susan grabbed some from the library, some little yard games that they have. So we'll have to coordinate bringing those or seeing if they're available closer to that time. So.
We didn't get a sign made for that, did we?
No,
No.
but Beth was just saying we could, if we're gonna keep it
On like the-
second, or the first, whatever the first.
I feel like there was some sort of graphic that Sam made, something like that.
We can
There was-
ask
I mean,
them.
there had to have been something in the newsletter, like a graphic or something.
Yeah, we can do something.
Yeah, a note on the website. I know you do next door stuff about East Bay stuff that's coming up, so that's always good.
What yard games does everyone have?
We had,
Well, you purchased
Oh, that's right,
a
we have
bit.
bought.
You have checkers, like life-size
And
checkers.
Connect 4, right? Or something?
Jenga, Connect 4.
A rope game.
yeah, the ladder ball.
I would golf, I could bring bocce. I have badminton, I could set up the whole
There
badminton.
was one I was playing, it was kind of bocce-esque, but with pins maybe?
Yeah, I think that was the,
Okay.
no, it was the one from the library.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
I'm looking at buying a nice set now.
I haven't played since I was like,
I think we'll be able to get an update.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that once I figured out the rules.
Do you want a pickleball demonstration if they have one?
I mean, if they're,
Was it hit last year?
yeah. Pickleball people are always there, so if they want to help
Yeah,
out.
or we could more do a focus on cornhole, since we're gonna be
Yeah.
adding the cornhole, we could do maybe that as a focus. People bring cornhole and talk about, hey, this is what's coming hopefully next summer.
Does anybody have a cornhole game?
I think I brought mine last year. I think Ryan brought.
I'm planning on
So-
buying one, so I should have one by then.
Oh, I thought you guys all
I think
had
I did
them.
have one.
Yeah.
I have everything but cornhole.
Oh.
Got a
And
frisbee
croquet.
golf thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just, that'd be a nice tie-in.
I
yeah.
agree.
So I think we got the games covered. Are we wanting to try to do the ice cream thing again?
Yeah, I think so. It was a hit last year.
Yeah.
It was a hit, and it was really reasonable.
I think it was 200 or 300.
Yeah, I remember being shocked how under budget we were at the end of the day. I'm like, wow.
So I think we approved like up to 500. I can't,
I can't recall.
I
I think it
can't,
was 5,
yeah.
because I kept sending my kids back to the,
Can we
Um,
include that in the promotion, and we make a bigger draw?
Yeah.
Always brings the people.
You coordinated that.
We'll
Okay.
we'll get something together.
Forget who it was, but that was a nice treat,
yeah, I've
so.
got their card. Any time or anywhere, ice cream,
Oh, the ice cream truck, yeah.
that might be what.
That or I can check too and just see about, yeah, I can get a hold of her and I can also check with like a Moomers or something like that
I know,
as well.
the guy that is at the state park, he's got a mobile trailer,
He has a what?
mobile trailer,
Okay.
Yeah.
so,
Lee Cobb.
yeah.
His wife has a ice cream truck.
Okay.
They were just at the Cherryland annual meeting,
Can't
so,
remember what it's called now.
Yeah,
That name sounds familiar. Is that Scouting?
but, yeah,
American Legion, he runs the baseball, or he's part of the board of the baseball.
yeah. Veteran and, yeah, Boy Scout family. Yeah, I forget the name of the, but there's options,
Okay, we'll work on that.
but, cool. Well, anything else on game night? Okay, August 7th, Thursday night, 5 to 7. Do some yard games, ice cream. Yeah, all right. There's nothing else. Public comment. Still doesn't look to be any public here. And then our upcoming meeting dates. Our regular Parks Commission meeting will be July 21st, 2025 at 6 PM.
I'm going to the big meeting on the 14th.
And,
I
okay,
also have that on my calendar.
yeah,
See you there.
so, yeah, the quarterly board meeting, sounds
Yes.
like Corey and Ally are attending. Yeah, does anyone have any other conflicts for July 21st?
Not today, I don't.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, we can move to adjourn our Monday, June 16th meeting at 6:40 PM.
I'll move to adjourn.